Good morning. Hi. You want a 40 play plan? What's the number? What is the number, please? Sir, you won't be able to put a plan on an English number. You have an eSIM, so it would have a local number.
Hello everyone, can you please reply me about the clarity of my voice? Hello everyone, can you please reply me about the clarity of my voice? That's good. Okay, let's start the today's session. As you know that the session is all about the exam techniques and also about some practice questions. So the purpose of I have set the agenda. In fact, I have set the purpose of that particular marathon, AFM marathon. That is all about exam techniques and support you and providing support you how what's the right methodology for the practicing the AFM exam questions over the next 3 weeks. So students who have already watched the last video, that's very good. Who haven't watched the last video till now, I strongly suggest you have to watch that video, because with the last video, with the last session, we discuss a very comprehensively matter. What is the right methodology for the practicing the question? That's all about quality. It's not about the quantity. And we also discussed that for next 3 weeks, what you should do to cover the practicing question and the theoretical content to cover. So students, with today's agenda, that is all about whatever we have discussed with the last session, whatever we have discussed about the last session, how to practice the question, including the theoretical contents, including the calculation content, and including the time management of the marks, time management about, including the management of the marks and the management of the time. That's very much important. So this particular session is about a practice question, a latest AFM practice question, where we will cover the exam technique points, including time and marks management. Number two, that's the question name that we cover. That is, the name is Addicton Company, AFM December 22 exam. Addicton Company, AFM December 22, and the topic is about acquisition and merger. So that's the agenda. I will provide you the support that how you people will handle the exam questions during the practice session and during your practice over the 3 weeks and your examination hall. What is the right methodology? I will provide you support about the calculation aspect, and I will also give you I will provide, in fact, the support of the theory as well, and also give you the suggested answer of that particular practice question. So let's start with a practice question. Come on. Before starting that particular question, can you please reply me once again? Is my voice clear to all of you? Is my voice clear to all of you? That's very good. Students, we are going to attempt one exam question. No? So, what should be the sequence? What should be the sequence when you are attempting any exam question? Number one, the very important thing is about reading and understanding. Always start reading the question with requirement. First, you have to read the requirement. First, you read the requirement and develop a basic mindset. Develop a basic mindset. What is about question or what topic related to the question. A quick mindset about that. Number one. Number two, then read the context of the question. Read the context of the question, the complete context of the question. Complete context. Based on the requirement. Because initially you have developed the mindset about a topic with the reading of the requirement, and based on that requirement, read the context of the question. And lastly, once again, read the requirement of question and compose your mind. Compose your mind means that you have to very specify your mind that what exactly the content of the requirement. For example, what includes requirement A, what includes requirement B, what is calculation, what is theory, how much calculation, how much theory. For each requirement, you have to read carefully the term and. For example, if something about that, calculate the NPV and discuss blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. So, that's a requirement split actually in two parts, before and after and. Same case for the theoretical aspects. Sometimes examiner mentioned that explain the content, explain the particular topic and evaluate the situation. So explain is about the principle and evaluate about the question content. So very carefully read and understand the requirement, because the first phase is about the reading. First thing. Number two, whenever you are going to attempt any part of the question, whenever you are execute any part of the question, either calculation or theory, always first you need to brainstorm. That's the point I've already discussed earlier, the last session. Brainstorm. You need to identify the key points about calculation, about theory. These 2 points actually, about planning. These 2 points about the planning of the answer. And once you have read and understand the requirement, once you have made the brainstorming, identify the equipments, key points, then you need to start the calculation. Then you need to start to attempt the question, either calculation, either theory. So let's apply this principle with a particular question. Ideally, you need to invest 20% of the time for reading, understanding, brainstorming. That's called planning. And 80% time for the execution time. So let's apply the things. Now come on. This is the question. This is a particular question. That AFM December 22 question name. It's Addicton Company. Okay. Initially, first, if the screen is, whenever you observe the screen, first of all, you read the background. The following information available on the left-hand side of the screen provide information relevant to the question about Propolis Company and Addicton Company. And number 2, about exhibits about acquisition valuation. This information should be used to answer the question requirement within your chosen response option. So just make a quick reading of the background. This is background, and go to requirement. Quickly read the requirement. Estimate the equity value of the combination of Propolis and Addicton Company and benefits which would gain by Propolis shareholder from the acquisition, 10 marks. Once you start reading and the background of the question, your minds now become developing that this question is about something acquisition and merger. Acquisition and merger. So, and so this is something about to calculate equity value, combined equity value of something acquisition, and the benefit to the shareholder of acquirer, that's Propolis share. Discuss the assumption made in calculation A. Discuss the assumption made in calculation A, including whether expected synergy are likely to be achieved. Expected synergy are likely to be achieved, that is 6 marks. And explain the actions which Propolis board can take to ensure that companies are integrated successfully and synergies are realized. Professional marks. For section B type of the question, the maximum professional marks the examiner could ask, that's about the analysis, evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen. That's 5 marks. Just a quick reading of the requirement, that is something about acquisition, merger, calculation, theoretical aspect, combination. Now start reading. First step you have done about reading, basic understanding of the question, about the reading of the question. Now the second one. Now come on. Use the highlighter. Yes, it's important. Do remember, read the context based on the initial reading of the requirement. Now start. Propolis and Addicton Company are 2 listed public companies. Okay, listed. These are the listed. Main focus of the both companies is publishing magazines. Publishing magazines. Just a minute. One moment, please. Okay, that is 2 listed companies. The main focus of the both companies is publishing magazines. Okay, just always remember that whenever you are starting the question, start reading the question, you have to develop another mindset, what is about industry. Here the industry is about publishing magazines. So this is a business about the magazines publication. So You have to visualize the business. That's important. Huh? Don't ignore. If you ignore the visualization of the nature of the business, maybe you will not be able exactly to write the theoretical content. So important thing is that develop your mind or develop imagination about the type of industry or type of business that's the examiner asking about. So these are the publishing magazines. Also, they also publish a limited number of books linked to the magazines. Okay, these are the publication companies. Propolis publish property and lifestyle magazines. Okay, Propolis publish property, real estate, and lifestyle. That means something about the fashion and like this. So Addicton company publish magazines, professional sports. Professional sports. So visualize this. Propolis, that's acquirer, having a business of publishing. So the backup here, that is about something related to the content writers, the designers, the publications, or about the business activity related to real estate, property, and lifestyle. Lifestyle, that means about some thing about fashion industry. So all the machineries, they have been working with the machineries in the setup of the publication of real estate and lifestyle. But they are going to acquire a company that's the same industry, that publication company. But the Addicton company, the potential acquiry, that's about the professional sports. So you are going to acquire another business having the set of expertise required about the professional sports. That's something different. Huh? Both companies publish a combination of magazines which have been established in recent years, and some of you have been published for much longer. Okay, both companies recently published new magazines. Some of the magazines have a legacy of the long term. Propolis has in-house team staff. Writers, editors who are responsible for content. In this business, the main thing is content. And who actually made the content? The writers or the editors. Most are young and tend to stay for a limited time before moving to other publication jobs. Okay. But the Addicton company has a team of in-house writers and editors of each magazine who are specialists in sports with their magazines cover and who in some cases have worked for magazines for many years. Many years. So this is also important. It's if Propolis is going to acquire a business where the retention ratio of the employees, it's a long-term basis. But the business model of the Propolis itself is about that. The resources here, the manpower here, its retention ratio is lower side. Okay. Currently, successful sports stars also write for Addicton magazines. An Addicton company board has given managerial and writing teams for more successful magazines. Considerable autonomy in determining the content and developing of the magazines. Okay, that's important. To remember, these things are important whenever you write something. Both companies have online presence. Okay, good. Both companies has online presence. In addition to publishing paper copies of their magazines, electronic subscriber for both companies can access some content which is only available online. Whereas Propolis company has won award for online presence and e-marketing. Okay. So that's a good setup of Propolis with respect to online. Addicting company website has been criticized long old-fashioned. Okay. With the main appeal of its online offering being the high quality of the writing of content which is only available online. So Propolis is strong with respect to the online presence, but Addicton it's not much active or not much strong with respect to the online matter. Propolis is planning to write a takeover bid. Yes, that's important. Propolis is planning to take over bid of Addicton company, has contracted Addicton company's board. That is the key point. Propolis board believe that acquisition could provide synergies, particularly in the line of areas of online presence, marketing, cross-sellings, and also saving in staff and admin costs. So they are actually wanted to justify the acquisition. That's Propolis company about. Okay, come on. This is what about the complete background. And number 2, acquisition. The current market value of Propolis equity is 620 million and Addicton equity value 320 million. So market value of both companies on an individual basis is available. Huh? Addicton company board has indicated that its shareholder will expect a premium of 20% above its current equity value. Premium of 20% above its current equity value. Propolis company board feels that its shareholder will also expect a gain at least 20% of current equity value of the shares from the acquisition. Once again, Addicton means here acquiring. Board indicated that shareholder expect a premium of 20%. Addicton expect a premium of 20%. Propolis board feels that shareholder will expect to gain Propolis. They wanted to gain of at least 20%. So acquirer wants to get a premium of 20% and acquirer shareholder wants to get the gain of this investment at least of 20% of the current equity value shares from the acquisition. Propolis wishes to estimate equity value of acquisition with free cash flow to firm. Okay, acquirer wanted to value the equity value of acquisition using the following information. And this is something about if the company is going to merge, if the Propolis going to acquire Addicton and they are working together. So, students, can you please reply me? Are you people with me? Expected sales revenue in the first year where the companies are combined, that's 720 million. Okay, sales revenue first year, that's a combined 720 million. The expected of the sales revenue of two companies most recent financial year. And expected sales growth in each year 2 to 4, 8%. So this is what about the calculation matter. It's very simple. Year 1 sales and then onwards. Expected post-tax operating cash flows, year 1 to 4, 14% of the sales revenue. The company requires additional investment, non-current asset 25 million year 1 and $0.3 every $1 increase in sales revenue each year from year 2 to year 4. After year 4, expected annual growth of company's free cash flow to the firm is 4% for the foreseeable future. Okay. Cost of capital 10%. Here they use the term firm free cash flow of the firm, so that's why we required the WACC. And the company target debt over equity ratio, that's 1:3. That's 1:3. That's a point. So this is what about the content. This is what about the content point. Now, first reading part of the requirement, then context according to the requirement. Now third one, read once again the requirement and compose your mind. Very specify your mind. So here, number one, A part is estimate, that is about calculation. Equity value of the combination of propolis and addictant company. That means if the company combined together, what's the total value of the firm minus debts, and that's equal to equity. So here we will calculate with free cash flow of the firm and benefits that would be gained by propolis shareholder. Do read requirement very carefully. Here examiner holds just required to calculate the benefit with respect to acquirer shareholder, not the acquiree shareholder. That's what would be the benefit, the increase in equity value. So you need to compose your mind and also try to start brainstorming. Brainstorming by writing somewhere the raw form, or brainstorming to talk to yourself in your brain. That's you need to talk to yourself. Okay, first thing I will do that, second, third, fourth, fifth, five. That's the first thing, second thing. Whenever you are going to start your calculation or theory, you should be very much organized and planned before it. So first thing is about calculation of equity value of the combined company by free cash flow. Number two, after that we need to calculate the benefit with respect to the shareholder. That's a 10 marks. Total 25 marks question. 20 marks for technical, 5 marks for professional. 5 technical marks belongs to calculation as well, theory as well. So first thing, technical, 10 marks. Number 2, B part, discuss the assumption made in calculation A. Assumption made in calculation A, including whether the expected synergy are likely to be achieved. Okay, that is 6 marks. Whatever the assumption we have calculated, we have taken with respect to the above working, including the expected synergy, that's need to calculate. Explain the action which propolis board can take to ensure companies are integrated successfully. And this end is very much important. And synergies are realized. So need to calculate action which propolis board can take. What action the board can take to ensure that companies are integrated successfully. You know very well, the success of the acquisition, it's based on the realization of the synergy. And number 2, integration of the acquisition successfully. So there are 2 things that need to answer here for 2 marks for the action point related to successful integration, 2 marks related to the support for how synergy become realized. But do remember, C point and D point, we have to start to put the knowledge with the case, but very specific to the case. Very specific to the case. That's a point. So let's start the question part. And yes, of course, for 6 plus 4, 10 marks. 10 marks technical, and your writing of the answer, including the professional skill marks, that's something about 2 to 3. What does that mean? There are 5 marks total, and that's related to analysis, evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen. That's a 5 marks. And the point is that analysis and evaluation, skepticism, commercial acumen, one by one. Analysis and evaluation, that's related to both calculation and theory. But skepticism and a commercial acumen, it only belongs to theory. First thing. How analysis and evaluation about calculation? If your calculation is in a structure way, number one, if you use the shortcut functions, the spreadsheet functions, so that's count with analysis and evaluation for calculation. And you will be able to get 2 marks easily. So 5 marks total, 3 belongs to 2 belongs to calculation. It's a rough idea, not exactly mentioned with the examiner report or somewhere else. It's a rough idea. 2 belongs to calculation, 3 belongs to theoretical content. So whenever you are working with the spreadsheet functions, whenever you are working of calculation and using the spreadsheet functions and also working in a structure way, at one side calculation, other side working and proper labeled. So automatically, if you do that working, you will be able to get technical plus 2 professional marks of the calculation. About theoretical point, I will discuss with the matter of the B and C part. Let's start with the calculation part. So number one, when you are start for the calculation, don't directly jump for the calculation. First of all, develop a mindset. That's how to work out the things. Here, examiner particular requirement about just a 1 minute about the brainstorming. Examiner particularly mention about equity value of the combined company and the benefit to the acquirer. So if something about benefit to the acquirer, so benefit means here to acquirer, that means that's synergy allocation to acquirer shareholders. It's not necessary that you need to write something with a scratch card. You need to talk to yourself in your brain. Benefit to acquirer means synergy allocation to the acquirer. So we must have to calculate the synergy first. Synergy. And how to calculate the synergy? That's number one, individual value of equity. That's already given in the question. That's already given. Current market value of Propolis, equity and Addicton. Okay, that we need to work out for the combined company. That's a working. Here question mentioned that use free cash flows. Okay, so I will make a table of the okay, I'm going to repeat it. I'm sorry for that. The screen was locked down. Once again. Sorry. Here the requirement about benefit to acquire. You can write the answer on the scratch card and plan your answer or by talk to yourself. Benefit to the acquirer, that means synergy allocation to the acquirer shareholders. So synergy allocations, that means you need to calculate the synergy first. How to calculate synergy? First, we require the individual value. And this individual value, it's already given. That's individual value, it's already given 620 and 340. Now need to calculate the combined company value. And here examiner mentioned that the working with the free cash flows. How to calculate with the free cash flows? Year 1, 2, 3, 4 and onwards. Okay, for combined company value, do we require the discounted? Yes, back. That's already given. That's already given. That's already given the 10%. Students, I need a 1 minute silence here because the voice of prayers coming inside the room. A single minute silence. Okay, so the point is that WACC discounted already given. So first of all, you need to develop a structure in your mind. No? That's if I'm going to execute it, how I will proceed, how should the complete design of the question. That's important. So first of all, need to calculate the combined company value, then calculate the synergy, and then allocate the synergy to the acquirer. Allocate the synergy to the acquirer means calculate the premium value that's allocated to the acquiring. For example, the synergy is 100. So out of 100, first calculate the value of premium that's we need to pay to the acquiring. For example, this value is 60. So out of 100 synergy minus premium to the acquiring, that's 60. Remaining it's 40. So remaining benefit to the shareholder of acquirer. So you need to calculate 40 of the part of the synergy to the acquirer shareholder divided by the acquirer existing share price or share equity value. So that's we need to calculate. That's we will be able to calculate the percentage gain of the acquirer shareholder for this benefit. So that is the mindset you need to establish first. Is this clear to all of you? Then start working on it. Then start calculation for this. Students, can you please apply? Are you with me? First, read the question carefully. Number 2, brainstorm before entering the calculation. Now it's time to discuss the calculation. That's if you are going to execute the calculation, how you will execute the calculation. First, you need to reply me. Is this clear, all of you? Okay, let's start. That's before the break, we have covered the point. That's what's the planning structure about the calculation. So students, this is what about the calculation. This is what about the calculation. Number one, that is the part A. Our approach is to calculate the synergy. So for synergy, that individual company values are, it's already available. 620 and 340, that's available. That's 620 and 340. Yes, we need to work out to calculate the equity value of the combined company. That's equity value of the combined company. How to calculate the equity value? That's very simple. Number one, we need to work out with the availability of the information. The information is available to calculate with the operating profit and to calculate the free cash flow of the firm value, and then determine the value. Determine the equity value. Free cash flow method, year 1 to year 4, that's very simple. That's a calculation. For example, the data is given for sales revenue. 720 is the first year sales. I hope all of you are with me here. And then move on 8%. That's 8%. That's 777.6 or 778. That's movement of the 8%. That's mentioned that operating profit is 14% of sales. That's simple, 14% of sales. That is 100.8 or 101. That's simple. Free cash flows, additional capex, it's mentioned here. The company required additional investment 25 million in year 1. That's 25. And then 0.3 for every $1 increase. So every $1 increase means in sales 7. That is all about the difference between 720 and 770. That is about, 0.3, 0.3 multiplied by this minus this. That's 17.4 or 70. That's simple. That's a movement, increase in sales and multiply by 0.3. And this is what about the free cash flows? Very simple. That is the discounted directly value of the firm. That's a discounted 10% is equal to NPV 0.1 comma that is 292. That is the shortcut function. That is NPV and select all the things. Sir, do we need to work out with the shortcut function? Yes. Listen carefully, if you're getting the right data from the question and making the structure with the examiner expectation, you will be able to get technical marks. But for professional skill marks, that means using the spreadsheet function, using the right structure, that's working and all these things, all these matters. That's the point. So this is year 1, 2, 4. And about the year 4 onwards, that is about the delayed perpetuity. Delayed perpetuity. Delayed perpetuity. and that is all about 107 multiply by after 4 years, that is 4%, multiply by 1.04 divided by 10% minus 4%, that is WACC minus growth, and definitely it's a delayed perpetuity multiplied by 4th year discounted, and that's a value of the 1261, or it's a rounding of matter, that's 1.1265. This is delayed perpetuity. So here 1 to 4, that's the cash flows. Here 4 onwards, that's the cash flows. This is the combined company value. This is the value of the firm. It's not the equity value. But here mention the debt ratio 1:3. Debt over equity ratio 1:3. That means equity value is 75%. So just apply the 75% of this 1168 or 1167. So actually the value required is this value, combined equity value. So combined equity value 1167, individual 960. So if they are working together, the extra value they will be able, that is 207. So whatever you have planned it, you are working accordingly. So first step, it's to calculate the combined value. Second step, that's about the synergy value. Now the question requirement is a benefit gained by acquirer. Benefit gained by acquirer. So equity value now, acquirer, equity value now is 620. The synergy is 139. Synergy is 139. How to calculate the 139? How to calculate the 139? Because Addicton asking the premium of 20%. 20%. So if Addicton company value is 340, it's 340, and asking 20%. So that means 68 of the synergy value wanted to get by Addicton. So out of 207 minus 67, that's equals to 139. So we will pay 68 to the Addicton, the remaining, that's the balance after premium to Addicton. That's 139. 139. So this is the benefit percentage, 22%. That's synergy 207. Premium to Addicton company, that's equal 68. That's 139. Balance to Populous. So benefit, how much increase in value? That is 139. The value increase by acquirer shareholder, the Populous shareholder, 139 divided by 620, that's equals to 22%. And they are expecting to increase at least 20%. If this is the case, that means, if all things happens exactly, so acquirer shareholder will get the benefit as per the expectation. In fact, more than the expectation. So here we will mention that based on the above analysis, we suggest that Populous company shareholder will gain more than the required return of the 20%. That's the point. So that is what about the calculation aspect. That is what about the calculation aspect. Students, can you please apply me? Is this clear to all of you? So the first thing is that you have to plan your calculation, do it accordingly, and mark my word. Mark my word. There is a rule called own figure rule, OFR. Any one of you knows that own figure rule? What is that about? Very famous rule that is about own figure rule. Own figure rule means, for example, some of the students is working here and they have made a mistake to calculate the value of equity of the combined value for any reason, due to the reason of the casting or the concept or the calculation, any reason. And instead of 1167, the mistake, by mistakenly you calculated the value of 1000. So if you by mistaken value 1000, examiner will take this wrong figure of you, of your working, that's 1000, and of course deduct the mark of this step, that's 1000. Instead of 1167, the figure it's about 1000, that's some of the marks deducted here, 1000, that's 1 mark. But what after that? Because based on this working, synergy calculate. Based on synergy, all the remaining calculation is based on synergy. So what will happen next, sir? Will the examiner or marker will deduct all my marks? No. Examiner will assume your wrong figure and wrong synergy and check the rest of the answer. The marker or examiner will check the rest of the answers. If your rest of the steps are right, you will get full marks of the remaining steps. Only you will, only the marks deduct. That's the step of to calculation of the combined company equity value. So that is the golden rule. That's called own figure rule. So that's why I always suggest to the students, make a good plan, and a good plan means good structure. And then if you have made a good plan, then don't stop and keep moving according to the planning. There are 4 steps here. Number 1, synergy. Number 1, combined value. Number 2, synergy. Then allocation of the synergy, and then calculate the value, additional value of the acquirer. 4 steps. So that's a planning you have done earlier. If somebody of you have made mistake with the step 1 calculation, don't worry. Rest of the 3 steps you have properly planned and work out accordingly, you will get the total marks. You will not get failure. But if, on the other hand, if any of the students not actually plan the answer and start execution without proper structuring, that's what 4 step I have to cover accordingly. What will happen? Step 1 is wrong. Okay, no worries. But step 2, 3, 4 is very haphazard. Marker will reluctant to provide any marks to you. So first thing is that make a good plan and stick to your plan and keep moving. Don't stop. Because the golden rule here, that's called own figure rule. That's a point. Is this clear, students? Can you please reply me? So the next thing is about the theoretical part, that's B part and the C part. B part and the C part. Let's start. About the B part. Now come on. That is the B part. I am discussing the suggested answer with you. B part is about discuss the assumptions made in the calculation in part A, including whether expected synergy are likely to be achieved. So understand the requirement carefully. You have to mention the requirement above. But with requirement, you specifically mention, you specifically incorporate the point of expected synergy to be achieved. So here you need to write assumptions specifically about expected synergies. So if examiner identify any issue, you have to incorporate it. So this is about 6 marks. 6 technical marks plus some professional skill marks. First thing, don't just write the knowledge. Always draft your answer in a manner that's something about application. First, write, we discussed same we discussed part A. For part B, the very first thing is to plan. Plan. You are very much clear about that. For time management, you have 6 marks, that's 2.25 minutes for each. 2.25 minutes for each mark. That is 14 minutes. That is, you have 14 minutes. Sir, how 2.25 minutes? Actually, listen carefully. Actually, within 180 total minutes, that's 3 hours, you need to attempt 80 marks, not 100. For example, 25 marks question, you need to attempt 20 marks question. If you will attempt 20 marks, automatically you will be able to get 25 marks. That's 5 marks about the professional skill marks. For 50 marks question, 40 marks belongs to technical, 10 marks about the professional skill marks. So actually you need to work out, you have 2.25 minutes to attempt professional, technical and professional marks. That's why for 6 multiplied by 2.25, that's 14 minutes you have. You need to invest 20% time, means 3 minutes for planning. And 80% time, that's 11 minutes for execution. So what includes a planning? Planning is about reading, that you have already done, and marks. That's about brainstorm what to write. For this 6 marks question, here examiner mentioned the assumption is about 3 to 4 marks. An assumption connect with the synergy, that is 3 to 4 marks. So number 1, the first thing is about assumption, what you will write, the key points, and then synergy points. For example, about profession. For example, if you are writing the assumption point, first of all need to consider how I will get professional marks. As we discussed earlier, that's a previous session, professional skill marks include analysis. Analysis means catch the information from the question and link with the case. You have to get the information from the case and link with the case, that's analysis. Skepticism, challenge the information. Acumen, link the case with the relevant points and additional information. For example, the case is about a company having a business of publishing magazines. Expertise with lifestyle, that's fashion, plus real estate. But they are going to acquire same line of business but having the different nature of publication experience, that's a sports. So these things you need to incorporate with the case. Plus, the acquirer is very good with respect to online presence, but not the acquiring. Plus, the staff members' retention, it's not a lengthy time or not very much about the retention ratio of the acquirer, but the acquiring content writers or the manpower retention ratio, it's a long basis. So first thing, that's about the assumptions. Assumptions here means most of the things you have to pick from the case, and it's all about the challenged things. For example, first 4 years, sales growth rate 8%, margin 14%, replacement investment, that is the difference between 2 years, and the sales of 0.3 of the sales. Replace investment based on sales value. These are the assumptions. So you have to draft your answer. Sales growth is 8% whenever you write. First of all, raw thinking, and then write the sentence. Sales growth 8% doubtfully particular for marketing aspect related to addiction company title. Profit margin of 14% also have challenges based on integration process and depends on volume of sales. Incremental capital investment may be underestimated due to technological advancement on online publication. In this case, you need to advance your technology, especially with the case of the acquiry perspective. So that's the point. Replacement asset decision based on, that's about the depreciation. This is based on past, but may be possible to require more investment to maintain existing position. Asset replacement, for example, something about a technological matter, not support exactly the past. So this is something about first 4 years. After 4 years, growth rate 4% perpetuity after growth rate. This may be unrealistic. Some magazines, you have to incorporate the terminology of the case. Magazines have a long history, but not realistic for infinite future. 4% infinity, but maybe some magazines don't have the life of infinite, especially the magazines having the based on the lifestyle or the fashion designing means the publication of fashion designing. Here the publication is not the perpetuity. The lifespan is very temporary. Cost of capital, it's directly given. No indication is given about the reason of the choice of 10%. Assuming no change in business and financial risk, which requires confirmation. Here directly 10% is given. But if you are going towards to the another business acquisition, maybe some systematic risk change, maybe some financial risk change, there is no information. There are ignorance of cost here. For example, IT integration cost, HR cost, redundancy cost, all these are ignored here. So this is, yes, you need to learn the assumptions from your regular studies, but also try to learn how to apply with the case. That's a point. Number 2, with same requirement, that is about the synergy. The same requirement about the synergy. You also incorporate the things about the synergy. The question requirement is discuss the assumptions that you have taken to calculate the synergy and the achievement of the synergy. So first, for the calculation, we have taken these assumptions. That's effect on the synergy. Further, propose board director that acquisition could provide synergy, particular in areas. In the question is mentioned because they have online presence, marketing, cross-selling. This is information in the question. Also saving on staff, admin and paper cost. So you need to answer either synergies can be achieved or maybe more difficult to achieve. You need to answer the question in this manner, plan the things. Synergy, you have to answer how the synergy can be achieved, because you are properties, you are and lifestyle, but going to acquire some sports. How it's possible to merge and get a synergy? There may be some saving cost, synergy. Buying bulk paper in quantities, yes, it's realistic. Compose your answer. Here the synergy can be achieved by purchasing bulk quantities and get discounts. Removing duplication of admin function, yes, it's justified. That's mentioned in the question. Adopting populous e-marketing methods. That's marketing method available in acquirer that support isolate. Are you able to hear? One moment, please. Okay, students, are you able to hear me? Actually, for some technical reasons, I'm not able to share the screen because after because a couple of minutes ago my system was disconnected, and after that I'm not able to get access of the access as a host, no? So I'm not able to share the screen. So let's conclude the session. Don't worry, you can ask the admin team. The admin team will share my suggested answer to you. That's whatever I'm sharing here. Cut the short point. Synergy content, that's I'm discussing here. I was discussing here. So the important point is that how the synergy could be achieved with this case, that's buying the bulk paper and get discount, removing the duplication of admin function, and e-marketing method. And finally, how with the case study, how it's how would be how it may be how it's difficult to achieve the synergy, or we can say that synergy may be more difficult to achieve, one by one. Here the director says that that's cross-selling. Cross-selling means that two different businesses having different base of customers. So for example, previously if the base of customers about the retail side or the lifestyle, so we will sell to the sports magazines to that customer. But the point is that if we are doing the business of having the customer base of retail side, real estate side or the lifestyle side, maybe they are not interested for the sports. They less appeal for this for the reading or to buy that publications. So it's not possible to get the cross sales. Huh? It's made not the 100%, but we cannot exaggerate. So it's we may face difficulty for cross selling. Number two, content. Of course, we cannot say that if our team exists for the content writing and the editing for the real estate properties and the lifestyle, they will be capable to write the content for the addicting, for the sports, not necessarily. So maybe for the manpower, you cannot save the cost. In fact, the cost may be increased, no? And that's affect with the content and the staff synergy as well. And of course, the point of the retention is there. If normal structure of the propolis of or the acquirer, it's about less retention, but the other business required more retention. So that's the company may face the challenge for the retention aspects. So this is about the more difficulties to achieve. After that, this is what about the planning and the key points you wanted to know. I have discussed in detail about that, the key points, but what you should do during exam, with the exam you must have to make a basic brainstorming. That's what the structure of the answer. First I will write something assumption, then about the synergy. With synergy, how can we achieve that, and number two, what the problem we can face here. This is the basic structure that you need to plan first, and then you need to enter with for the content writing, for the development of the answer. That's important. So last C parts you can get. I will share the suggested answers. You can get the suggested answer accordingly. I hope that you will be able to get an idea how the questions you would be able to write it. So student, is this clear about that? What with these two sessions, what I have done? First session, I shared you the important exam tips and techniques for the revision of the questions. And with this session, I have shared my ideas with this, or I have applied my ideas of the about my guide. Sorry, I've applied my guidance advices with a particular question. One part calculation, another part theory. Remaining C part, you can get the solution. You would be able to get the solution of my side. So just read the solution accordingly. If you wanted to get any more thing, you can contact me on my WhatsApp number, that is +92 321 827 1784. And you can also join a public group WhatsApp group for the regular discussions. You can just drop a message to me. I will share the WhatsApp link. You can join that particular link. That you will be able to get more material. Thank you very much. Take care a lot. Any more question you can ask me. I'm available for next 1 minute. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Take care a lot. Bye-bye. You can ask any question on the WhatsApp to me. Thank you.